But it is researched and proven that the tourist gastronomic experience with local pubs, clubs and restaurants is positively contributing towards its loyalty towards the destination, provided that there is certain level of satisfaction in that experience. And if you look at the socio-demographic profile of the tourists who are visiting Sri Lanka, you would see they are traveling a lot inside the country. So you know what I'm talking about. So it is important for a country like Sri Lanka, who's struggling to regain the share of tourism, to invest in this industry, invest in uplifting the professionalism in the industry, and that comes to the product offerings, the service, the ambience, customer engagement, and experience. So I think if you want to build Sri Lanka tourism, if you want to build a strong brand, it has to be done in collaboration with local pubs, clubs, and restaurants and cafes. I think that is the only way out. Our industry is quite resilient because we've seen the war, we've seen tsunami, and we've seen the East attack. In fact, we're just recovering from the East attack when the COVID pandemic came and hit the market. But the COVID is very different because the whole purpose of pubs, restaurants, and cafes is to socially connect people. But the very thing that COVID requested or demanded was social distancing. It is very difficult when your customer is asked to stay at home and your restaurants and pubs are closed, and then you are asking to sell a premium experience. Just if you even go to the veteran, if you go to the legends of the industry, they have not seen such a scenario. So it is very difficult for an industry to cope up with that kind of an environment, per se. So what I think is in a situation like that, what matter is not how big your organization is, how financially strong your organization, or how big your brand equity is. It's just a matter of the great passion and perseverance for a longer period of time. It is how fast you can adjust your strategies, how fast you can recollect your thoughts, and having strategies to get around in the issue, because it's not a short period of time. It's almost been 2 years now, right? So we need to keep our organizations lean, mean, and hungry. And if you can do it, only the companies who have done, they have survived. The companies who couldn't do, they actually disappeared. That is what happened. If you look at our industry, it's been 20 plus years now, but we were unable to create a household brand. We started as a premium category, that is fair enough, but for more than 20 years, we were not able to make it a mass industry. What happened was the premium industry, we became more finer. And the players in the industry who was actually adopting a differentiation strategy, they carved niches and focus more into focus strategies. Whereas, as a result, it didn't make a coffee general for the general public. So that kind of strategy, especially in a country like Sri Lanka, is not helping to grow a market, because we need to have more accessibility and affordability to the industry. So my suggestion is always at least a couple of players, big players, has to step down and play the role of cost leadership, where you make coffee more affordable and more accessible, and then the industry will grow. And especially if you really now look at the micro and macro environment factors of Sri Lanka, it is, I think, personally, does not, help. They don't help the premium categories. They don't help the premium pricing. So rather than, fighting for a shrinking premium industry, I think the players has to, step down and recruit more people. And then only you can increase more users, more usage, and more users of coffee. So if you do that only, we will be able to grow this industry. I know why that question is even asked. It is quite a difficult task, because we were selling an experience, and actually it's a premium experience, a bundled experience. We were very worried about our blend of the coffee, how you make coffee, how you do the latte arts in it, and the service with a lot of human touch, and the ambience, everything, right? So, and when you are forced to a situation where your customers are locked down in their houses and you are asked to close our doors, it is very difficult. The very reason that was a premium experience is the reason why we charged a premium. But when you don't have that option, and when all the emotional benefits that we were offering was taken out, the coffee experience has just became a functional experience. And all of a sudden, we are in a completely unknown territory where we were fighting with unknown competition. I mean, if you ask me, do you like it? I really don't like it. But do we have any options? Of course, we didn't have any options. So what I think is we need to start from what you have. Right? In 2019, we realized that our business in Barista was highly dependent on tourism, right? Because our locations are basically strategically located in those tourist attracted areas. But then we realized after Easter attack, we need to fine tune our strategies to be more relevant to local market. And then we started delivering coffees with our online delivery partners, which at one point, I thought it's impossible. But during the COVID, we were forced to work hard on it, and we excelled that. And I need to tell you, it's a very humble beginning when, the first wave of COVID. We started our operations with a WhatsApp number. And then all our digital social media platforms that we used to only for image building and brand identity building, we converted them into all e-commerce platforms. And then we started our e-shop, and from there today, for a month ago, we launched Sri Lanka's first ever coffee app, and that is working well. And in fact, those kind of small steps saved the Sri Lankan's largest coffee chain, and it saved about 120 employment. And during the pandemic also, after that, we opened 4 outlets and we are expanding, because right now, even in a big lockdown, I mean, right now it's not a big lockdown, I'm talking about a proper lockdown, we have secured about 70% of our sales just because of this digitalizing effort of the experience. I think what we need to do is to start with what you have. And to go to your second part of the question, whether it is feasible for us being a developing country, I think that is a very reason why we need to do that, because we've been giving that excuse for 70 years. We need to be a developed country. But I really get the gravity of the question that you asked. You're asking about the infrastructure, I think. And if you talk about numbers, Sri Lanka has about 11 million internet access, closer to 8 million social media users, and 7.5 million plus Facebook users. I think that is good numbers to start with, especially for a small industry like café. I think my profile consumer is using and is on these platforms. If you can't run, you have to walk. If you can't walk, you have to crawl. But you need to make sure that you move forward, and you move forward to the right direction. It might require a lot of skills and talents to face a new situation like this. But this is my personal opinion. It all boils down to adaptability. How fast you can adapt to the change. And that requires a lot of flexibility and strengths to an organization. I think most of the organizations in Sri Lanka, probably lack of that adaptability, because you need to change your offerings, product and service offerings. You need to change your channels of selling. You need to change your marketing communication. You need to change your HR management. You need to absolutely rethink about the whole value generating process of the organization. And it takes character, because in a very short period of time, when all the helping factors are not in favor of you, then you need to do this in a hurry. So you need to change the strategies, you need to change the structure, you need to change the style of doing business, you need to change the systems, the skills, the staff, and the shared value even, right? You need to change all that. So I personally believe the most important aspect in a situation like this, the skill that you need to possess, is adaptability. I see very prominent trends during the last couple of years. One such is the digital transformation. And if you see the social media platforms that we use purely for marketing communication purposes now have become e-commerce platforms. And that was well supported by online delivery partners and banking systems with payment gateways. But not only that, but the whole value chain has transferred, digitally transferred, which is good. It opens up new markets and also for small players to come and, compete with big players. The second thing is, the second trend that I see is consumers are becoming more rational in their decision making, and also they're very value conscious. I think the reason is they have now time and also resources to leisurely go through their buying purchase decision process, because from the time that they realize the need recognition, to information search, to alternative evaluation, they have information in their hand, and they are very, very focused and very, very I would say concerned about the value that every rupee, every dollar that they're going to spend. So that is another big trend that I've noticed. Thirdly, there's a lot of discussions about environment. There are a lot of discussions about socially acceptable shopping behaviors. They talk about the green marketing. They talk about waste management, reducing plastic usages. Because I think after COVID, it was an eye-opener for everybody to think that there is no plan B for us if something happens to this planet. So the companies who also think like that, who can align their business patterns to consumer thinking, will have an upper hand in the situation. And also what I have noticed is there are a lot of do-it-yourself kind of approaches, because employees are working from home, they have little time, and there's restrictions of movement. So people, trying to attain new skill sets, they're trying to, do new things. And I have seen in my industry, like especially coffee, people are trying to, do cappuccinos by themselves. They're trying to do latte arts. And I've seen some, trying to bake their croissants, which is a good thing, at least, they have engagements in the category. So what, as a marketing, oriented organizations, what we need to do is to anticipate these changes. And if you could, yes, that is the best thing, if you can anticipate them. But if you can't, at least to understand these trends at very early stage and accept it and get yourself adapted as soon as possible before other competitors do. And then those kind of companies will have edge over the other competition. Yes. I think we have to stick to the basics of marketing. That is to create as much as value possible to your consumers under any circumstances. There's no exception, even in a situation like COVID. the companies who do better product management, companies who do better brand management and consumer management will definitely going to win the show, because it's how you engage, it's how committed you are to create solutions, better solutions to your customers. It's how determined you are to protect your brand equity, protect and enhance it, and also how focused are you to stay close to your customer and manage their brand engagement with the company. So that is the kind of approach that you need to really take into consideration. But when I say that, it is sad to see over the last 18 months or so, I've seen many brands, they have lost their way. They've gambled their hard-earned equity and identity of brands for short-term financial objectives, but out of desperation, I know. But as marketeers, it is our duty, it is our responsibility to find new avenues and find new ways to stay afloat without losing your identity and your hard-earned brand equity. Because what I believe, nothing is permanent, not even the pandemic. The pandemics will come and go, but the brand prevails, because at the end of the day, people will remember how your brand made them feel like. So my advice, if you ask, is sticks to two things. First is sticks to the basics of marketing. Second is stick to your brand core values. Well, despite the current adversity that we are experiencing due to COVID-19, I personally believe the future of cafe industry in Sri Lanka remains bright. But having said that, we need to, undergo some profound changes to the industry. And in the coming decade, I really want to see coffee grow from this, high street phenomena to a more essential part of daily lifestyle. And for us to do that, there are two things that we need to do, as I discussed earlier. We need to increase accessibility to the brand and affordability. And to that happen, at least 2 to 3 players has to step down from this premium strategies to more cost leadership strategies, make coffee more affordable, and take coffee beyond Colombo. At the same time, we need to be ready with the socio-cultural changes in Sri Lanka and in the world, where you will find more increasingly savvy customers, informed customers. Then you will find this digital transformation of the whole, business activities, and then third-party delivery partners who would be it's how you use it. It can be a really blessing for you. At the same time, you have to remember that they are taking that experience home. So that can be an opportunity as well as a threat to the industry. And also, it will be very difficult for us to find and retain new skills because the employees that we are looking for is also very rare. And also sustainability will take the main stage. Like, people will talk about how you do business, whether it is ethical, whether it's socially responsible. So all these matters will come to play, and we'll have to anticipate, as I told you earlier again, and be prepared. Because it's almost more than 3 years now. We are facing a lot of difficulties. This industry is facing difficulties. It started from East attack, and it continues to the fourth wave of COVID. It's 2 years, and we are very tired. But personally, I see something at the end of the tunnel, and I really hope that it is light. And I like to be prepared for it, because what I believe is success is when preparation meets opportunity. So it's always it's always good to be prepared.